Today's session is on a very, very important topic, that is time management. Time and again, I have been asked, said, how do you manage time? And this is in response to that. So everybody has 24 hours, whether it's Ambani or a big shot or a lay person on the living anywhere in the world, everybody has got 24 hours. Now, how you manage this time is the most important thing. How productive can you make it is what's going to determine your course of life. So I'm here to share with you my personal experience and experiences that I have collected from people who have managed their time well and they get time to do everything. So this is an important session, especially for people who find it extremely tough to take out time for what they want to do. And they are getting involved in things which actually is redundant, repetitive, and not required. So to start off, I want to welcome you all, first of all, to join the session and showing interest in a session which is very practical and applicable in their daily lives. So first and foremost, what is time management? As you are aware that we as in general, we engage ourselves in a lot of time wasting activities. You go anywhere, you will find a lot of people wasting their time. Even in our classroom as educators, we find students who are generally wasting their time, not reading anything, not involved in any conversation, not involved in any meaningful learning, not generating or participating in things which they should be doing in their school lives. So this is time waste. So 12 to 13 years of their lives, some of them are just sitting down in the classroom and going back without learning anything significant. So it's important that every minute or every hour is accounted for. We need to do something concrete. Of course, there is time for meditation, there's time for sleeping, there's time for play. It's not that we are only studying, but we need to maintain a balance, which means that every hour has to be planned out. We cannot just sit idle and say that we are doing nothing. So it depends on individual preference and goals. So what is time wasting? So somebody is involved in something, they may say that, oh, that person is wasting their time in that. It may not be. So suppose somebody is very good in sports and he is going and practicing regularly. The parent may say that, oh, this is all time waste, but it is not time waste because that sport is being played and practiced. And probably the child wants to become, a professional cricketer or a footballer, whatever it is. So what is time wasting for you may not be time wasting for others. So first of all, we have to set our priorities right on what is time wasting and what is time management. So when I'm investing my time in something which I consider useful, then it is not waste. It is actually time management. So having learned the difference between time wasting and management, the first and foremost, what I find is that you waste a lot of time in social media browsing. So you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you are on Twitter, TikTok, general YouTube videos, and you keep scrolling. It's like TV channels. TV is another form of wastage of time. So you're browsing without any definite purpose. Of course, if you are doing with a purpose, then it makes sense. But if you are browsing just for the sake of browsing, and then what happens, hours and hours will go without any meaningful addition in your knowledge or in terms of skill, nothing is going to happen. You're just wasting your time, right? So you're just scrolling, and then you're reading some posts, random pictures, random videos. And this is what happens. There is you are consuming a lot of time without significantly adding anything in your lives. So I think this is one of the major reasons which we should avoid social media browsing. That is why we should stick to one or two platforms. So many people ask me why you are not active on this platform or that platform. I said I'm happy with one or two, and I am managing that well. So it's important that you stay in one or two and not in multiple platforms. And then, there is no time because you have to keep checking what's happening there. You are on Instagram, you're on TikTok, or you are on Facebook and YouTube and general web browsers. And there are so many apps that are coming out. And then what happens is that there is no end to it. The reels, they are so addictive that you keep on playing one after the other and there's no end to it. So social media browsing is one of the major areas where time management is required. Second, as I told you, is watching TV and movies. Of course, this is an important part of life, but If we can restrict to once a week or twice a week, it makes sense. Now, if you see the serials are so addictive, some people ask me, sir, how do you get time? I said, the first thing that you do is, don't watch these serials, because serials is something which is addictive. Every day you are sticking onto that continuously, and it goes on one after the other. So somebody had suggested me to watch one serial in Netflix, that Money Heist. It was a very good serial, and in fact I got addicted to it, and I kept on watching, and there was no end to it. Then I realized this is the problem. That day I decided I'm not going to watch any more serials, because it's taking a significant part of your life. Even although I wanted to do other things, that serial was so addictive, that Money Heist, that you kept on watching, and then you wanted to do the next season, and there was no end to it. And I said no more. So this is one area which you should discuss, and introspect. Are we spending too much of time on TV and movies? Because one movie will take you 2 hours, 3 hours, and that is totally waste. I am considering those people who watch 1 or 2 movies daily. That 3 hours could have been used for something. It's not that there should be no entertainment in life. I'm not talking about that. There should be. So that's what I'm saying. Restrict yourself to 1 or 2 movies or one serial, per week or something like that. But this becomes a disease. It's you are watching. That's why TV is called the idiot box. We know from our childhood we have been given this term that TV is the idiot box, because you keep on watching. You take the channel and you keep flipping that one after the other. That nowadays there are 300, 400 or 500 channel, God knows how many, and one after the other. Imagine you are just flicking on, binge watching, and then whole day is wasted without any productivity. So use of social media browsing to be controlled. Restrict yourself to 1 or 2 hours maximum in a day, including TV and everything. So if I restrict myself to 1 or 2, right now I'm saying 1 or 2, because generally I have seen people, doing at least 3 to 4 hours. So if I can bring it to 1 or 2 hours, because see, you need to check your email, you may have to check a few YouTube videos, you may have to check your Instagram, all that. So all this considering 1 hour, and maybe 1 hour of whatever series or something. So if you are able to restrict yourself to 1 or 2 hours, maybe every alternate day, even daily, it's not required. So this is going to give you a lot of time. This is going to give you a lot of time for productive and your personal growth. Another, I don't know about the adults. There are many adults too, but video games. When I took a survey with students, I found that 75% of the students in our classes are addicted to video games. And because of the online classes which happened during the COVID, this has increased tremendously. Earlier, probably it was 30%, which now has increased to 75%. That means only 25% of the kids in our classes are not playing video games. So video games means another 2 hours, minimum 3 hours. There are some students who are very sleepy during the day. That's because they slept at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and then they have to get up at 5:30 for school. So they were hardly sleeping for 2-3 hours. So video gaming has affected their minds, because they have a different ideology altogether. We find that response is very less in the classroom. They feel sleepy. This is because of this culture of the video games, which has to be. And some of them are very dangerous. Some of them are violent. Some of them are giving sexism ideas. So it's not simple gaming. It is involving your personality. And another, as I said, internet surfing, this I've already, it's whether it is social media or, you go from one content to the other, reels, and the reality is totally different from what the reels are presenting. So if you compare what is going on, you aspire to become like them. You are wasting time in, creating a false impression about yourself. Your morale goes down, your confidence level is down, and then your personality is not getting groomed. So that's the problem with today's generation. And also I find this in the adults. If you see any age, from 8-year-old to in fact 80-year-old, they're on the mobile, surfing the internet, watching videos which are totally irrelevant. And then comes the most, the oldest bad habit of any human being, procrastination. That means not doing anything. I will do it tomorrow. There are so much work in the house. There is so much work in our schools. There is so much work for the family. We have kids, we have family. There is so much there. Instead of spending time with them and for the family and your work, what is happening is you don't do anything. So you keep on delaying things. That is called procrastination, our worst enemy. So if we have these extra time with us, we can organize our mails. We can, have apps which do work faster. Now, see, artificial intelligence has come, and we can, reduce our work to, let's say, 20% or 10%. So we don't have to do 90% of the work. So earlier we used to rack our brains to prepare lesson plans. Now the lesson plans can be generated in about 30 seconds. And then you just have to, modify it as per the needs of your school or your situation. So this is very important that we make use of our priorities in life. Procrastination will lead you to destruction. Nothing is going to happen tomorrow, 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 and tomorrow never comes. So essential work gets delayed. And then what happens? You get tagged that you don't do the work properly, whether it is student or educator, the same problem. In our schools, we find that there are many people who are very active, do it promptly, but there are students who will wait for the last day, last minute, still they don't submit. Then we send reminders, again they don't send it. It's a habit. And those who submit on time, they will always submit on time. So whether it is for adults or students, the same story goes across. So this is a major enemy of time management. Excessive shopping. This is also another disease which has crept in the recent times. Earlier, I remember when we were kids, we had to go to a market, physically touch things and buy it to check the quality. But now this online shopping is become a disease. You are seeing a catalog, and here this is the variety. You have the rating before you, and the convenience that you just have to order something at the click of a button and it is coming to your house is appealing to a lot of people. You just pay your money through a wallet, and since there is no physical money involved, you don't feel the pain of spending. Otherwise, you go to a market with 4,000, 5,000, and then you are spending that with your hand, you feel, okay, I've spent a lot. But that 5,000 online will not pinch you because it's actually not going from your pocket, it's going from a digital wallet. And then what happens? There are youngsters who take credit cards and they spend excess of what they are actually earning. And that's why then they take loan, and it's a continuous process. So excessive shopping, things which we don't require. How many shoes do we require? Maybe 2, 3, or maximum 4. But I know of youngsters who have 7 sets, 8 sets, 9 sets, and they want more. Even the adults, they are buying actually much more than what is required. So this is the online game altogether. They try to tell you that you need more. This is cheap, and they give you huge discounts. Okay, this is the MRP 5,000, and you see, I'm giving you at 2,000. So they attract you with these schemes of discounts. They attract you with their ratings. They attract you with the variety in which you may not get in a physical shop. You'll have to waste time. Traffic is so bad that and then parking money you have to give. 3-4 hours of shopping, then you say, okay, I will go shopping next one, and you get delay. But online shopping is so easy. I'll just buy from any online shopping site, and the thing comes within 24 hours in the comfort of your house. You don't have to step out in the sun or rain. You don't have to drive, or you don't have to hire a cab. You don't have to pay any parking, and the thing comes. So what happened? There's no goal, but simply, okay, I'm getting bored, let me shop something. You go to the site and you buy things. Another very important thing, gossiping or idling. How many times in our societies or in these workplaces we find people gossiping or idle conversation? Means there is no meaningful conversation happening. Instead of doing the work, they are just gossiping or discussing some random things, and there is no purpose. And then what happens? All this is waste. So you are spending so much time on the telephone. Telephone is another problem. People speak hours on hours on the telephone. So as a policy, all those who know me personally, I always say that, I am not able to talk to so many people because, we have a large group of educators connected. I have a large group of students connected. So what happens is that every time you cannot pick calls, because then I'll become a telephone operator and I'll be losing my time. So as a rule, I have said that when I'm working in school, I will not pick up any calls, because when I'm in school, I need to be fully involved in that. When I'm involved in CBSE work, I will be involved in this, no phone calls. When I'm with my family, I need to give my family time. So it's important that wherever you are, the time that you're spending for a particular purpose needs to be for that. So always those who have known me, and if you've tried calling me, the chances are very, very rare, unless you have taken a pre-appointment, that I pick up the call and I'm totally free to, have an idle gossip or something. So I always ask the person, what are you calling for? What is it regarding? And 99% of the cases, it may be a very small query which can be cleared over WhatsApp. The call was unnecessary, because the moment the call comes, it is a half an hour talk or 20 minutes and it goes on. And then, things which are not required are talked. So to avoid that, unless of course it's their family, sometimes I get called from my parents or some family members, then obviously you talk to them. That's part of a ritual. So my parents will wait for my call and we have a chit chat for 10-15 minutes a day. So that's fine. But you can't talk to all random people who are coming. You see, 50% of the calls are spammers. They will, if you pick up the call, they will say, do you want a credit card? Do you want a debit card? Do you want a loan? Or we are from this, you had come visiting, we want a feedback on that. And if you start attending all those calls, you are wasting at least 1 hour a day. So how many missed calls do you find of spammers? If you've installed Truecaller, you will find that there are so many spammers calling you, and you don't have to pick up those calls and answer them. So pick up known numbers, and if they are known numbers, please find out what they are calling for. Or if suppose that a person is going to talk to you for a very long time, then ask the cause, because you always find a solution. I'm not telling you to avoid people. What I'm telling you is that we can have meaningful dialogues when we know the conversation is controlled. Uncontrolled conversation will lead to gossip. So we are calling up random people, or bhai kya haal hai, and just trying to induce the other person into revealing certain things which you may not be doing in a planned conversation, right? So it's important that we plan our conversation and then only we talk. So especially when we are talking about professional relationships, I think it's important that we keep professional. We need to respect time. So whenever I am trying to contact another person, it's important to first find out whether that person is free. Is it a good time to talk? It's very important, because sometimes the person, you will find that there are 5 missed calls, 6 missed calls, and there will be a message there, sir, pick up my call, pick up my call. Why? You may be in a situation where you cannot pick up the call. We have a policy in school that we cannot pick during classes. There will be action taken on us, so we cannot pick. I may be in a family function, or I may be you're sleeping, or there may be so many occasions where we cannot pick calls. So there cannot be 6 missed calls. If you have a 1 missed call, 2 missed call, it's any common person will understand that that person is busy and will not respond to your 6 missed call. So you need to message that person, sir or ma'am, when will you be free? I had this query and this, and most probably that person will respond via WhatsApp. If they don't respond, they will call you back at a suitable time, or you can take a suitable time from the person. So this is a common problem, I think, that people believe that the other person is free and they keep calling. And some people also pick up these calls and start gossiping. And imagine if you are in school and you are wasting half an hour when you had to do probably copy correction, or probably you had to spend time in counseling some student or meeting some parent. You cannot afford to waste half an hour in gossiping or idle conversations. So it's important to restrict our conversation on the phone, because as you know, the mobile phone has become part and parcel of our working. It's become our system. So if you don't have your mobile phone with you, you feel that you are handicapped, isn't it? How many times you may have gone back to your house, picked up your mobile, saying that, oh, I forgot. And we were all roaming without mobiles when we were kids. Nothing happened to us. But today it has become part of it's become an organ. So if it's one of the organs. Without phone, we feel handicapped and we feel paralyzed, and things don't go further. Why should that be? So if we are restricting ourselves to a particular time where we talk to people, respond to people, I think that makes a lot of time and it becomes more meaningful. Endless meetings or conferences. So many people invite me for so many meetings, but then I ask, what is the purpose of the meeting? What will be the duration of the meeting? So if I'm going for a half an hour meeting, the meeting has to be half an hour. You cannot extend it 2 hours or 3 hours. I have attended meetings where the only focus of the meeting is to plan for the next meeting. The present meeting, they're not focusing. They will just go through the minutes of the previous meeting, and then the blah, blah, blah. Everybody is sharing something. And then in the end, okay, in the next meeting, we will discuss this. And the present meeting, what is the concrete agenda that was planned that has not been implemented? And it goes on and goes on, and then endless meetings. Duration of half an hour meeting go to 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So conference, there are so many conferences. That's why whenever we have webinars, I always tell the resource person, make it 45 minutes or 1 hour. Don't make it, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour sessions. And because it becomes very difficult for people to attend those webinars. So that's why you find that 99% of our webinars, unless of course it's a topic which cannot be covered in 1 hour, it goes beyond 1 hour, right? So it's important that we respect not only our time, but the time of our listeners. All the people, even the sessions that we are having or I conduct, you will find that practically it's about 1 hour, because I respect your time. I know that as educators, you have so many other things. You want information, but at the same time, I cannot take your 4 hours or 5 hours on a Saturday or Sunday or any day for that matter, when you have to do multiple things, right? So meeting should have clear objectives. We cannot drag on any meeting. And always remember that never waste valuable time in discussing things which are not there in the agenda of the meeting. Multitasking without focus. We have seen many people doing a lot of things and they don't have any focus. So they will do one thing, second thing, third thing. And in many society context, we say that that person is very good at multitasking. But what is actually happening is that things don't happen in perfection. I mean, there may be exceptions that, some people are able to multitask, but in 90% of the cases, we find that it is not possible to do 10 things perfectly. We can do 1, 2, 3, but not 10 things. So what happens? There will be decreased efficiency, but we plan on one, we implement that. And then what happens is that we are able to do our duties well. So prioritization of the task is important. What is more important that I will do first? This I can do after 2 days. Everything should move, but what is important, what is the priority, accordingly I will be doing that. So it makes sense that way. Excessive sleeping, especially for the students, they sometimes it's both ways. Sometimes they don't sleep because they're on the video games, and there's another category of students who always are sleeping. Their parents will come and tell me, sir, he's always sleeping. The moment he sees his books, he's sleepy. So while rest and sleep are important for well-being, but excess of everything is bad, including sleep. So it's important that they don't, sleep for 10 hours and 12 hours like babies. Once they are 7 years or 8 years old, they don't require 10 hours or 12. They may require 8 hours of sleep. So it's important as adults also, we don't, excessively sleep throughout. Saturday and Sunday is a holiday. It's a time for relaxation, but that doesn't mean that you will sleep for 12 hours, because ultimately the body doesn't require that much. Then you require 8 hours of sleep. And if you are sleeping beyond that, then actually you become more tired, you become lethargic, and productivity becomes less. So how do we make use of time? So far I was discussing time management in the context of what are the activities that generally people get involved and waste time. So how do we make use of time? It's very, very important. First is set clear goals. What do you want to achieve? So do I want to, what is my goal number 1? What is my goal number 2? It's important. Is your career important? Is your health important? Are your relationship important? Your personal development is important. Everything, there has to be a goal. What do I want to achieve in my relationship? What do I want to achieve in my career? What are my health goals? What is the height? And height, of course, beyond a certain age we cannot, but for students, yes, they can do. What is my weight management goal? So everything has to be time bound, as they say, SMART, specific. It has to be specific, it has to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So that is called SMART planning. Very, very important. So SMART planning has to be done. So it has to be SMART, specific, not in general. Okay, that my aim is to do this. Let's say I want to lose weight. So that's not specific. So specific will be, I want to lose 2 kg of weight in a month. Okay, that's something specific. I'm just giving a random example of specific. It has to be measurable. What is the measure? So I have an organization. Now, at the moment, it has got 100 members. I want to increase it to 150. I am doing 1 webinar a month. I want to do 2 webinars in a month. So these are measurable numbers when there is a number involved. It has to be achievable. Now, achievable means, like, I cannot say that, okay, my aim is to do 30 webinars in a month. So that's impossible, because you need preparation time, you have to present it. So it has to be achievable, not random things which is not possible. Okay. So something which you can do. So it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant. So what is, you will do certain things, but it may not be relevant. So many times, so many people have come with a lot of suggestions, sir, I want to do a seminar on this or webinar on this. But the question is it relevant to the people who are attending your session? That's important. So I'm talking in terms of sessions and all that because, most of us are educators and we try to get involved with sessions which work for us. So if it is something on, let's say, business strategies. Okay, so business strategies will work for people who are into business. For teachers, we'll require something on technology which can be used in the classroom. We may need on classroom management. We may need on art integration. We may need on CBSE protocols. We may need on experiential learning. So these are things which we need. So is it relevant for the group? That is important. Relevance is very, very important. So it has to be achievable and relevant and time bound, not unlimited time. I'm going to do 2 sessions. When? This year or next year, by within 3 years. So we cannot say that I want to do 100 webinars, and when? There has to be time. I want to achieve a membership of 50,000 members. So by when? That you have to set a target. By 2025, I will have 50,000. So what are you going to do for that? So strategies. So unless there are clear goals, nothing is going to happen by chance. Everything happens by choice. If you are leaving for providence to act and then things happen on its own, that becomes a very, very rare condition that it will automatically do something. You will be able to achieve something when you have a goal in front and you are working towards that goal. So it has to be, again, I'm repeating, SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So whenever we are making a plan, make sure that these 5 things are there. Prioritizing task is very important. What is most important for you that you need to do first? That has to be aligned to your goal. So what is my priority? What is my goal? Everything should be aligned to that primary goal. So there are techniques like Eisenhower's urgent important matrix. You can just do a Google search. So these are techniques by which we can prioritize our work, and we have to do that urgently. Focus on the high priority task. So if you're taking a high priority task and delaying it, then unnecessarily you will get tense, stress, lead to health problems, and of course the task itself gets delayed, which is not good. So for maximizing productivity, it's important that the high priority tasks are done first and the low priority tasks are done later, as per the demand of the schedule, right? It's important. So planning and scheduling of sessions or planning and scheduling of the work that you are doing anywhere in school, family, whatever, is of prime importance. Create daily plans, weekly plan. That's why in our school, we have these chronicles, right? Where we make a lesson plan. What is your plan for the week? What is your plan for the month? What is your plan for the day? It's important. So we set goals. Small goals are there. Okay, by the end of this chapter, the student should be able to do this. This is the objective. And then learning outcomes. By the end of this, the outcome was this. You are sharing those personal experiences. So planning and scheduling is important. When you're going on a vacation, we plan the whole route, isn't it? So I will be reaching Himachal, and then I will be taking this cab and I will reach from this destination to this destination. The approximate cost is this. They'll be staying in this hotel. I'll be booking a cab from there, going to the railway station or airport, whatever it is. You are planning the whole thing. So when you're planning and scheduling, things fall in place. Okay, so you may have a plan A and plan B, but then what happens? Planning helps you to implement the things. Whether you go on vacation or whether you are at home, whether you are at school, everything will require planning. Even a simple thing like renovation of your house will require planning. You will call somebody, make an assessment, then you will plan the days as per your convenience. No, then the material has to be bought. So many things are involved. So when you make a plan, you should have a planner. Like I have a planner, I put it on my Almira. Every day, what's important in school? Is there a family function that I'm noting down? Is there some birthday or anniversary that I'm putting? Is there a webinar today? Who's taking that? I'm putting. Do I have to go somewhere? Do I have to submit something? Everything I've put on my Almira. So every day when I wake up, I have the chart in front of me displayed, and I'm able to find out what's going to happen. So that gives you an idea of what has to be done. What are your priority areas? At what time you have to do different things? And then you don't mess up the program, right? You are available for this. Then learn to say no. This is another thing which many of you should make a habit. Don't say yes to everything. It's not possible. I realized it the hard way. When you say, you may think that the other person gets offended. But actually, what's happening is that people are taking you for granted. Now, there are so many invites that you get for so many functions. It's not possible that you go to school, you are there with family, you have personal work, and then you are attending multiple programs here and there. So it's important that you say no when it is not possible to do. You cannot say yes, yes to 10 things and then you will not be able to do it. So you have to do justice to your yes. So there are many people who say yes and don't do it. So that's worse. So it's important that you set your priorities and say that, okay, I will be coming for this, but I will not be able to come for this, or I will not be able to do this because of these reasons. Okay. So we are saying no, not because we don't want to do it. It's because we have already already planned certain activities in those days, or you're not available, or you're traveling, or some guests are coming at your place, or you're unwell. So this will avoid overcommitment. There are many people who overcommit and then they're not able to do it. So my general mantra is, under promise and over deliver. There are many of you who joined the mentorship course of the All India Educators Forum, where we train educators to become resource persons. And always they have said, sir, you have taught us in 35 modules. We promise them 35 modules. And then what happens? The value that they get out of those is much more than what we promise. So always under promise and over deliver. So then what happens? We encourage them to take sessions, they get master trainer certification, and then we are giving them so many opportunities in other organizations. We are helping them in getting into a CBSE resource person, NCERT resource person. And many of them come back and said that, this happened because of that starting that you gave. So it's important that we don't say all that, after in the beginning only, we will not promise them the stars. They will reach the stars because of the promises that we have never made, but it happens automatically because of the initiatives that they take because of the program. So I'm just giving you a random example. So always whenever you are doing something, you cannot go to your parents association and say, okay, this year I'm going to produce 100% result. You cannot. The reason being is that if you don't get 100%, it's not possible, first of all, to get, all the students are getting 100%. There may be a student who is not getting, there may be many students who are not even clearing. It depends on the location. I mean, you may be teaching in a top school where 100% results come, but I'm talking about the general situation of the country, the rural areas where there are a few students who are not able to clear their exams in spite of the best efforts of the child, because they are first generation learners. So when I'm talking about these situations like this, let's understand that we are talking in an all India context of rural areas, tier 2, tier 3 cities where basic infrastructure is not there. They don't get proper electricity and water. Then you're talking about 100% result. So what's important for us is not to overcome it. And then what happens? Everybody is happy. Okay, you promised this much, but you gave this much. So similarly for our schools and work. So if suppose you are saying that, what is the average score that you are expecting for your class? You can say that I'm expecting 70, and suppose 80 comes, everyone is happy. Okay, you promised 70 and now it's coming 80. But if you are promising 80 and 70 come, they will say, see, you promised 80 and it came 70. That means you have not met your promise, or you didn't work hard enough to achieve your goal. So it's always better that you have, you promise your audience or spectators or whoever it is less, and they will get more out of it. So don't promise them just stars, and then what happens is that, they can give them false hopes. It's important to tell, like many times in the PTM, I have seen teachers falsely praising the student. Oh, this guy will get 95% and 96%, and he may be a 40-50% guy. So what's important is to tell the realistic picture. See, at the moment it's 40-50. If you work hard, he will come to 70-75. And then once he reaches there, then you set the next target. From 40 to 90, you tell them that he is capable of getting 90 from 40. Then what happens? The child also, gets discouraged because he knows that he is not able to reach that point in one go. It's a long effort. So give smaller targets. From 40, don't give 90. From 40, make it 60 or 70. And then from 70, you take that child to 90. So it's important that we don't over promise certain things. Okay. Or you are, some parent is saying, and You are saying, oh, next time though he will, I am teaching them so well that he will get 95, and he will get say 70, and the parent is disappointed. Sir, you told that he will be getting 95, he's got only 75, and then you will have no answer. So it is important that we go stepwise and we say yes to only things which we are able to do. If suppose they will say, somebody says that, okay, sir, there is a music event and you come and sing a song, and you say yes to it. And when you don't even know the ABC of singing, how will you do it? So I'm just giving an analogy that, certain things we cannot do. We are not expected to do everything which we don't. Whatever we know, we'll do, but whatever we don't know, we will have to say no. Because the moment we say yes, we get stuck in that, we become like a machine from morning till night. Yes, yes, yes. And then what happens? You must have realized everywhere, in whatever circumstances, the yes people are the most stressed out people. The yes people are the most stressed out people because they have never said no in their lives. They keep on saying yes, yes, wherever they are, and people take advantage of that. So it's important that we say no to certain things which we cannot do. Okay, what you can do is important, but what we cannot do, we have to say no to it. There has to be continuous learning and improvement in our lives. We cannot be redundant, because the life is changing at such a fast pace because of artificial intelligence, which has just ChatGPT has created a revolution. Google, Bard, and Microsoft Bing, they are all not coming up. They have already brought out their AI versions, and you will find that things are going to rapidly change in the next 6 months or 1 year. And unless we adapt all this into our teaching learning experience, we become redundant, and we are doing the old methods which are time consuming. So we can do fast. A PPT can be done in 20 minutes, and earlier we used to spend 5 days probably in making a PowerPoint and preparing for it. So these are things which we have to learn. And when we enroll for courses, when we are listening to sessions like these, we are able to enable and empower ourselves, and our productivity increases. So we need to read books. Reading is a habit which is destroyed over a period of so many years. Nobody wants to read, including adults. So it's important that we read books, we take courses, we attend workshops, engage in activities where we are improving in our knowledge and skills. Because the moment we empower ourselves with skills, we are saving time. Time is saved because of certain apps. Like as I told you, creating PowerPoints is one of the common thing which educators do for creating lesson plan. How much time we can save when we are skilled in using AI? Take care of your well-being, very, very important. Because unless we are healthy, our time goes in only eating medicines and taking care of our, there is muscle pain, there is leg pain, we have headache, or going to the doctor. This is all time wasting things. If we are able to take care of our health, that means sleep well, eat well, nutritious food, good exercise, take walks, these are things which are very, very important for anybody, not only for teachers, for every human being. Taking care of your physical and mental well-being is priority number one, because then we are having so much time to do things. If we are unwell, then what is the only thing that we do? We lie down, and we are not able to do anything. We are not able to relax because of the stress. Other diseases come in. So it's important to take breaks. That is why, when we get summer vacation, it's important to spend a few days outside. No, phone calls, no TV, nothing. Just enjoy in the lap of nature. It's important to take breaks. Every weekend, go for a movie. That's a break. Go for a dinner somewhere out. These light-hearted things, meet the family. These are important things that we need to, the breaks are important in our lives to get away from the monotony that's happening from our Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday weekdays. So it's important to take breaks. Self-care is the best care that can happen, because once we are infected with something, once we are unwell, then a lot of time goes in taking care of that health issue. We are not able to concentrate on the task. So do take care of your very good health. Take care of your health, because that ultimately defines how your life is going to be. Reflect on this. Regularly, we need to assess our progress. Okay, this is what I did in the last month. How can I get better? How can I do more? Unless you do that, you will never grow in life. You will be stagnant, and in fact, you will deteriorate. So we have to grow. Everything that God has created is for growth. Whether it is plants, human beings, animals, everything grows. So everything has a birth, everything grows, and everything dies. So it's important that when we are given birth, we will grow and we continue to grow till death. So it's not that we are growing in height and weight or etc. But when we grow in intellect, we need to grow in wisdom, we need to grow in knowledge, we need to grow in skills. Not that, that I have seen many people, oh, now I'm 60, I have retired, now I don't want to do anything, which is a wrong attitude of life. Learning is something which happens till death. And if you're able to do that, your wisdom will increase. People will flock to you for learning so many things which they might not have done because of your vast experience and expertise. You may be the best person in that field. So it's important that you identify areas where you can improve your efficiency. Okay, I'm good at this, but I can get better in this. So once you eliminate your time wasting tactics and optimize your routines, then obviously your time gets managed very well. We will break our bigger task into smaller tasks. This is very, very important. There are huge projects given to us sometimes by our respective schools, or there is a big function in the family. What you need to do is break them. Okay, this is what has to be done. This will be done at this point of time. This will be done by this group. This will be done by this group. So a smaller task. Okay, so when you are implementing this, when you're breaking these tasks, involve people. Some people have this habit, I will do everything myself. That's the worst thing that can happen. So you need to delegate and outsource responsibilities. Don't try to do everything on your own. The person who tries to do everything on their own becomes problematic. So, for example, I remember when All India Educators Forum started, I used to do everything, right from making of posters to creating links for the meeting, to giving publicity, the certification, everything was done by me. Slowly, I realized that as the organization is growing, I cannot do everything on my own. Today, our resource persons are independent. They are making the poster, they are creating the links. So everything is done by a resource person, and as I have delegated them, I have empowered them that you can do, we can make use of our platform. That is why our platform is growing. So we started from 50 people just 3-4 years back, and today we are more than 30,000 members because of the simple fact that we have delegated responsibilities to our resource person. That's why, and we keep inviting that, are you interested to become a resource person? Please do come. If you know something that you want to share, then please do contact me. And then what happens? When I am empowering them, when I am delegating the responsibility, they also feel happy that they are able to reach out to hundreds of educators across India. And then they get calls from this institution, that institution, school. Sir, ma'am, can you conduct a session for us? And they feel happy about it. Otherwise, you have so many skills and you're sitting down and you're not sharing with others, people will not know you. People will know you when you share your experience and expertise with others. So, otherwise, as they say, you will go with all this knowledge into the grave and nobody will come to know. As they said, no, that which is the richest place on the earth. So it's not the diamond mines or the gold mines, nothing like that. It's the graveyard, because many people will take all this knowledge and skills with them in the grave without sharing with anyone. In our institutions also, we find that there are so many people who are very talented, but they don't share those experience or expertise with others. So we should not be like that. We should be able to help hundreds and thousands of other people who are willing to learn. The more we teach, the more we learn ourselves. We ourselves will learn from others. So there are so many sessions that I attend where I get to learn so many things. There are so many sessions you are attending probably where you learn and then you come and share on our platform. So that's how the learning teaching experience is a cycle. Nobody knows everything and nobody can teach everything. We all learn from each other. So it's important that we share this. When we share and empower others, you also become empowered. So as I said, this example, that when I'm outsourcing all this responsibility, then what happens? I become relatively free because I don't have to take care of otherwise every meeting I have to be physically present. Now I know that my resource person is good enough that he or she will prepare the poster, he or she will prepare the link and conduct the meeting and, prepare feedback link and do everything independently. So that's what. And if somebody is not confident, we say that it's okay, you try, and ultimately they become independent. Because ultimately that's important, that we are delegating to other people, not doing everything on your own, then nothing is going to happen. So on this note, I want to thank all of you who have taken out their precious time. As I said, the session is on time management. So it's important that we begin and end also in time. And I am sure that the small points that we shared across here, especially the SMART that technique that was shared, and also the time wasting tactics. Please go through that once again and try to avoid that, and make use of your time, be productive, and empower yourself and empower others around you. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.